Hello everyone, good afternoon. So thanks for joining today's webinar. So our speaker for this session is Mr. Rahul Mahajan. He is the head of design in the Hoist division at Hercules Hoist Limited. He comes with 25 plus years of experience in engineering design and have been associated with us since last 9 years. Uh, at the same time, we have other panelists as well to help answer your queries. We have Mr. Manish Dhar, who is the head of ABP sales division at Hercules Hoist Limited, and we have Mr. Arvind Srivastav, who handles the like Pan India after sales service division. So without much of ado, I'll pass on the baton to Mr. Rahul Mahajan to start the session. Whatever questions you have, just put in the Q&A and the panelists will answer these questions. Okay. And at the end of the webinar, we'll have a 30 minutes Q&A session. Whatever questions remains, we'll try answering that. Thank you. Rahul sir, over to you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rahul Mahajan. On behalf of Team HHL, welcome you all in this webinar, In-Depth Electric Chain Hoist, Make the Right Choice. As you know, the Hercules Hoist is a company manufacturing hoist and cranes since 1962. And today's agenda is the brief introduction about the in-depth briefing on the hoist, hoist selection, application-based product selection for your industry with the right analytical method. In-depth electric chain hoist, various in-depth models, what is in that and which models are suitable for which application. Then what are the hoist safeties? What are the, including the do's and don'ts of operating of the hoist, maintenance tips for the hoist for a longer life. Then what is the in-depth winning age over the periods and what is the in these products about the precision and industry 4.0 readiness about the electric chain hoist. Hercules Hoist is a Bajaj Group company formed in 1962 with the collaboration with the Henry D. Fries, Germany. Integrated design and manufacturing facilities at Khalapur and Chakan. We are quality system certified ISO 9001-2015. Mechanical hoists are certified for the ISI and CE certified. We are the market leader for the hoisting solutions in India and our team size is 125 plus. Our product range and solution ranges are as below. You know the mechanical hoist and components, electric chain hoist, wire rope hoist, crane overhead handling system, storage and retrieval solutions, ergonomic handling solutions. So with this all, we compromise with the following our hoist, which are mechanical hoist, electrical chain hoist, wire rope hoist. Among that, we have a different hoist families and designs with nomenclature with the in-depth models. So as of today, we will discuss on the electric chain hoist, and we have on our platter ES2 baby hoist, GC series hoist, SC plus series hoist, CS3 and CS4 electric chain hoist, and UC plus series hoist. Apart from this, we have a mechanical hoist as well as wire rope hoist as well. Our market leadership is driven by our continuous innovation capabilities, enabling us to provide a robust solution. We use cutting-edge technology, tools like SolidWorks 2018 and 2021 with FEA for the hoist designs. Whatever the hoist designs we produce, new product development, customization, or as per the development for the customer's requirement, we carry out in the 3D environment, which will have the added advantage for the analysis of the component and optimization of the design. Our capabilities are enhanced by our tie-up with the eminent partners, Planeta, Jashe, and VHT Italy. So today we will be talking about the understanding of the hoist. What is the hoist? And you should consider hoist is as a machine. Machine, once we see, it is operated by operators and mostly it is in front of the operator. But hoist is the machine which is an overhead equipment and operated by the operator with the pendant or radio remote control. So as you know, we are in this industry from 1962 and we have developed our product based on our expertise from our technical partners experience and our broader base customers which have different requirements in different industrial applications. Hoist. What is the hoist? Hoist is equipment machine which lifts the load either with link or roller chain or wire rope. It is powered one of three ways: manual effort, electromotive effort, or pneumatic force. So electric hoists are powered by electrically driven motors. The electric chain hoist, the lifting capacity is depending on their construction. So their travel and operation is directed by an operator either manually or with a wired pendant station or wireless controls or radio remote control. Typical applications include helping operators in manufacturing, warehousing, construction to lift loads in support of production or storage activities, loading, unloading, and one process of the next. So this is the basic application of the hoist. So hoisting equipment is used in the variety of areas to support processing and handling throughout the facility. Which are those? Those are assembly areas, positioning areas, transportation, staging, storage, and warehousing. So what are the benefits of the hoisting equipment? Why we say hoist is to be used? Because hoist is a machine which is a customizable. Ergonomics is there, so safety, flexible as per the customer requirements, suitable for outdoor and indoor usage. It has a lower maintenance cost. These equipments are portable, easy in the positioning, and it can be used in the automation lines for the positioning of the uh, fixtures or components or engine assemblies, etc. And reduction in the product damage, because these are overhead equipment which will have a free traveling space and which will not obstruct any of the operation or material lying on the shop floor. Safety. This is a safety is also there included in the hoist because they operate overhead and work in specific area. Hoisting equipment occupies less floor space likely than the forklift traffic to maneuver a load into personnel, walls, machinery, or other obstacles. So what are the key areas in selecting the right hoist? When we select the hoist or the requirement comes from our different quarters of the factory, production, maintenance, operations, assembly line, logistic, dispatch department, packing department. So there is a planning for this activity, and that is needs to be defined the needs and strategic performance objectives, functional specification of the proposed system. This will help to select the right hoist for the particular application. Then the standardization. Standardization in parts of the spare part, the bought out items, the usage, maintenance activity, and to handling the spares required for the particular hoist and keeping those recommended spares in the stores for the day-to-day maintenance or breakdown maintenance. So that for that purpose, standardization is also important. So when we think about it, what are the other areas? Work, material handling process should be simplified. So reducing the combining, shortening, eliminating unnecessary movement. For that purpose, you have to understand the hoisting equipment and choose the right hoist for the particular work. Ergonomics. This is also important with this in today's world. The to support the abilities of a worker, reduce repetitive and strenuous manual labor, and emphasize safety. This is also an important factor while we select the hoist. Another is unit load. Because of less effort and work is required to move several individual items together as a single load, unit loads such as pallets, containers should be used. So for that purpose, what are the suitable hoists? What are the tool tackles required for that particular hoist? That has to be understood, and then unit load has to be specified, and it has to be communicated to the source where you are procuring your hoist. Then space utilization. Space utilization is mostly important and efficient use of space within the facility. So whatever hoist you will select, it will have overall dimensions, headroom constraint, hook approaches, and the hoist geometry which will not obstruct any of your equipments or cranes or any of either the power supply cables, power conductors for the particular assembly area, whatsoever it may be. So space utilization, then for that purpose you have to understand the right size of the your equipment. For that purpose there are brochures available, and in the brochures we have given all the dimensions, headroom constraint, and what is the hook approaches, what is the hook opening. That is also important to understand to design the tool and tackle required to handle the load with the hoist. The system is storage to be coordinated throughout the process, from receiving, inspection, storage, production, assembly, packaging, unitizing, and other selection to shipping, transportation, and the handling of the returns. So for that purpose, you can use the single same hoist on the various monorails which will travel across the factory, and it will help for each and every stage for their particular job. So the hoist can be used in the conjunction for the particular hoisting with that particular hoisting application at various stages for that uh, factory. So another is the environment, working environment, energy use and potential environment impact should be considered. So what are the working environment? What are the temperatures? What is the area? It is a dust area, it is a steel, or it is a galvanizing plant, or there are fume, or there is any other hazardous area. What are the environments? That is also the important point when we select the hoist, which is affect the hoist safety, which we say the protection class of the hoist, control panel, motors, etc. Another is nowadays, as we say, the industry is preparing for the industrial revolution 4.0. So automation is inevitable. So for that purpose, when you select hoist, you have to see whether these, whatever the operational efficiencies, responsiveness, consistency, and predictability of the hoist is matching with the automated material handling technologies applied in your factory. Last is the life cycle cost of the equipment. For that, for all equipment specified for the system, an analysis of life cycle cost should be conducted. Areas of the consideration should be include capital investment, installation, setup, programming, training, system, operation, maintenance, repair, reuse of value, ultimate disposal, and spare part management. So for this purpose, we have some analytical background to select and to suggest for this, and from that you can estimate the life cycle of the hoist. So for the design standards of the hoist, normally we in India, we follow the IS 6547, and nowadays the hoists are being designed by the European standard FEM 9.511. Whenever see your hoist, those are based on these two standards. These two standards are derived from for the designing of the hoist, and as per the company's designing strength, customer base, and optimum design capacities, we utilize these two standards to design the hoist. So when we say the hoist is the, what are the right selection, right hoisting points to be considered while selecting the hoist? What are the points which we just discussed? Customer requirements by their application, site condition, budget for the project. While we often start with the budget for the project, most important driver is application of the hoist and site condition, which drives the hoist selection criteria. Third is working environment, operating environment. Then fourth is height of lift, which decides the utilization of working lift. So which is depending on the your factory shade and the load height and load required to be lifted from the ground. So for that purpose, the height of lift has to be derived based on these three factors, and for this one, the product brochure will help you to understand what are the headroom dimensions. Headroom dimensions are the dimensions of the hook to hook dimension. Hook to hook dimension is once hoist is fixed to the crane girder or monorail or any trolley, and that what are the dead dimensions, means from below that hoist cannot work. So that are the dimensions which will unutilized and which will occupy the working space. So for that, height of the lift is to be understood and selected accordingly. When you say height of the lift is selected, this is important to, it will give you the cost benefit as well. Suppose the lifting of the load is not more than 1 meter, height of the load or the geometry of the load is of 800 mm, and you will not lifting the hoist more than a meter. So you have to select the optimum height of lift, which will uh, uh, utilize on the costing purpose, and you will save money on your chain, excess chain, which is hanged on the hoist. So excess chain hang on the hoist, which will obstruct the thing and which is a dead investment. So height of the lift, understanding of the lift, understanding of the load is important in this case. Fourth is the speed of the hoisting. Speed of the hoisting is depending on your the production cycle rate. So what are the operations? Those operations has to be studied, and based on that, this has to be optimized based on the requirements of the hoisting. So we have a range of various speeds available for different capacities. Understanding of the speed of the hoisting is important, which always give you the optimum cost benefits. If you select the right hoist for the lift speed for your application, which will give you an economic solution of the hoist. Again, the application, where the hoist is being installed, indoor or outdoor. If indoor is there, then there are certain protection class. For the outdoor, there are certain protection class are necessary, and that has to be communicated, and it has a cost implications. So when we say the hoist has a different angles to this for the selection. For that purpose, you have to understand the particular operation, optimum requirements, and available hoist with the technical specifications. Another thing what we see or what we ignore many times, the usage pattern. Usage pattern is the hoist usage pattern, means how the hoist is being used in the factories. The hoists are designed for the general purpose engineering application, but the different industries has a different applications and operative requirements. For that purpose, this usage pattern will help you to understand the correct hoist, and it will give you the longer life to that particular equipment what you invested. Usage pattern is consisting of number of hours of running, number of start-stop inch operations, load geometry, load lifting pattern, hoist handling operator. These are the important points, 5 points, where you have to concentrate, you have to understand, and then you have to apply the requirements and procure the requirements. Number of hours of running, number of start-stop inch operation. Those are interlinked things. Those are number of start-stop inch operations are required in many of the assembly area, where you need to align the hoist equipment with that particular fixture, particular assembly line, particular assembly stage in the automation line. So there is a tendency of the operators. They want to align, and then they will have a number of starts and stop for that particular operation. So those things are also affect on the hoist equipment bought out parts such as brakes and motors. So this will help you. This will help you to select the right hoist. What are the usage patterns? This is the small picture of the duty cycle of the hoist, or how the hoist duty are classified. Those are 4 types of the duty class. So light duty, medium duty, heavy duty, and very heavy duty. When we say the light duty, middle duty, so basically this is depending on the hoist used for that particular maximum load and mostly used reduced loads. So if light duty application is there, that means the operating time, 1/3 of operating time, you're using the 100% of your load, and for the most of the time you're using the reduced load. So that is a light duty. Middle duty is again the hoist lifting approximately with the same ratio, maximum, middle and reduced loads. What is the heavy duty? Hoist duty frequently lifting the maximum load and normally middle loads. Frequently lifting the maximum load means 50% of your operating time is being lifted for the 100% of the load. So that is a heavy duty application. Another is very heavy duty application where hoist regularly lifting loads near the maximum value. Means the operating time, 90% of the time is being utilized for the lifting the 100% of the load. So these are the very heavy duty class of applications. So this is important to understand. This is gives us the right selection. The hoist, as I told you, hoist are designed for the general purpose engineering application, and based on the application, the hoist has to be utilized in that particular application. For the different industries, there are different requirements. Suppose you go in the assembly, there will be a cycle time will be less, but the inching are more. Or some production cycles are there where machining centers are there, or any foundry equipments are there. Their production cycles are very high and inch cycles are very less. So depending on the industry to industry, the number of operations are to be studied, and then the hoist duty class has to be selected. So these duty class, there are these two parameters, running time and duty class. So when you say the load, what is the load? Load is the safe working load limit. What is the safe working load? The maximum safe working load in tons that the hoist is designed to carry in service. This is specified on the hoist and marked boldly and clearly on the hoist, the lower hook block as well. What is the working load limit? It is working load limit is based on the classification as described below. If you see the chart, in the chart, so there are M1, M2, or there are classifications based on ISO or IS or FEM. So these classifications defines the running hours per day and total life over the period of that particular equipment for that particular class. This is the design guideline where these are the bare minimum criteria design has to meet for any of the hoist. But if we say the hoisting companies who are in the field for the so long with a vast experience of industries handling the different industries, different applications, those are guidelines are already met, and we have enhanced our life over the uh, life of our hoist over the period. So these are the basic guidelines where we have to bare minimum thing has to be comply, and there is a room for any hoisting company based on their design capacities, budget, and the requirement of the customer, and the design philosophy of that particular company. We take a call and we design the hoist based on these guidelines. The usage pattern, when we say number of hours per day strictly for the hoisting, lifting and lowering, average weight of the load lifted in a day is the usage pattern. Based on above, the hoist requirement classification can be computed and the right hoist is selected. So if you see the comparison of IS, FEM standard or ISO, there are broadly 4 major duty class. So if you say in IS class 1, 2, 3, 4, in FEM 1BM, 2M, 4M, 5M. So based on these classification or ISO classification, hoist to be selected depending on the usage pattern and number of hours used per day. This is a small summary for the load spectrum where we say the average daily operating times hours per day, and then what are the load spectrum you select for the your load operations. on with that particular hoist in that particular area, light, medium, heavy duty, and very heavy duty. So hours per day is defined, and the load spectrum is also defined. Based on that, you can correlate what is the design duty class in the FEM, and based on that, you can select the right hoist from the product brochure. So this is the small verification for the your applications. When you say how to select, how to calculate the operating hours of operating time per day. So here what are the most important things? The average hook path, what is the lift is required? What number of cycles per hour? What are the number of cycles per hour? It is depending on your the particular application where the hoist is being mounted, where a hoist is being used for that particular application, and what are your production target? What are your production cycles? Based on that, you have to estimate the number of cycles per hour. Then plant working time. It is a day shift, it is a three shifts operation, or it is a one-time operation, whatever it may be. Based on that, in the hours you have to enter. And the hoisting speed. Hoisting speed is required to meet your number of cycles per hour, your production target. So for that, the brochure is there, and the brochure, every hoist has a capacity, hoisting speed is mentioned. So if you select that one, then when you put into this some small calculator, you will come to know operating time per day. So based on operating time per day, again you can work on this chart, and you can select the right load spectrum of the particular hoist. So this will help you to understand what is the hoist requirement, what is the usage pattern, and what are the optimum hoist solutions available in the product brochure. So if you see our design philosophy and our criteria, so we have different products in the same category, electric chain hoist. So what is in the in-depth electric chain hoist series? We have hoist for every application. We have hoist for every budget. We have hoist with design flexibility. We have hoist for every industry. We have hoist for high return on investment. Hoist suitable for the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Hoist for automation and industrial application. We have a hoist for ease of installation. In-depth hoist are ease for the operations. In-depth hoist for the safe and green environment as well. Hoist with minimum downtime and quick spare part availability at economic rates. That is also a USP of our supply chain and our company strategy. Hoist design for the cost-effective meeting the robust application. In-depth Hercules hoist is known for their economic solutions and robust designs. So we have almost 45 plus thousand electric chain hoist on different locations, and companies are still procuring the spare part for the same, and those are being replaced, and those hoists are being used for this purpose. So this is what in-depth is having. And on the in-depth series, if you see, as we discussed, we have 6 different series: EH2, HC series, UC series, GC series, CH3, CH4 series, originally launched in 2004. And what are the variants available in this one? These are the twin hook SC plus hoist is also available. Available means that is a customized solution required for the specific industry, and specific industry is automobile industry, where you have to handle the automotive chassis. You have to handle some machines where you have to lift the hoist at the same speed and place at the same picture. So for that purpose, this type of hoists are being used. What are another thing is where the factory shade is a constraint. Factory shade is a constraint, and for that, the headroom is a problematic area where the total load lift is not possible. There are short headroom hoists also. Again, electric chain hoists are also there for the flame-proof application. Flame-proof means hoist used in the hazardous area application. Hazardous areas are those where there are gaseous elements are there, chemical fumes are there, dust environment is there, or some galvanizing plant where the heat is also there, or in foundry applications where the hoist are being used to shift the load from the furnace to the dikes. So these are the applications are also available in our three of our hoist. So which are those? EH2, a baby hoist, CH3, CH4. These also we can offer for this hazardous area application. These hoists are with unlimited advantages and flexibility, available in flame-proof application as well as in higher lifts as well. Because lift nowadays the hoists are being used for the windmill application as well. There, these are the maintenance type of activities. Once in a while of requirement of the operations. There, these hoists are being used. Or there are some power plants. There are steel plant where the equipment height is itself is of 30-40 meter height, and then some maintenance activity has to be done for that. Usage of the lift is might be less, but the mounting of the hoist is very high. So for that purpose, we have a hoist for the higher lift as well. If you see our product brochure, the product brochure talks about all important features, capacities, the design strategy, what are the accessories, what is the chain, and the overall dimensions of that particular hoist. In addition to that, we mention the hoisting speed and what type of motor is there and what is the motor kilowatt ratings. So this will give you the idea of the particular equipment where you can select the hoist and match your requirements. So the product brochure talks about the different dimensions and applications of this one. So when we say what is in the electric chain hoist, what is the specialties of each and every hoist? So if you see the EH2 hoist, which is a specially designed hoist for the with the robust conical rotor motor, which is a brake motor, which we can use, which has a mechanical brake, and the hoist is designed with this special motor for that 2-fall and 4-fall construction of this hoist. Then again in the other series of the hoist, that HC, UC, GC, CH4, CH3, those are the energy efficient motors we have standardized. Motor cyclic duration factor conforming to the FEM duty cycle. So that has to be supplied with each hoist. Advantages are their extended motor life. We can see the cyclic duration factor, which is the most important factor for the life of the equipment, and motor start stop. So those are in conforming to the design standards and particular application what we state in our product brochure. Then we have high starting torque motors, then higher brake torque ratings and operation in the brakes within very low values of noise and low amperage. Brakes are AC/DC as per the customer choice. That is also a possibility. Then non-asbestos brake liners in PO hoist, gear cam limit switch in SC and GC hoist, which is an additional safety feature where you can set your lift at 4 positions, and 4 positions means uppermost and lowermost position, and in between position you can set. So uppermost position can be used as an emergency, and lowermost is also can be used for the emergency operation, the emergency stopping of the hoist. Then another mechanical safety features are there in the hoist, that are the shipping catch mechanism for the overload protection in the three of our hoist. Those are the HC series, GC and UC. This sleeping clutch mechanism is used to set the load of the overload testing capacity of the hoist, that is 125% of the load, and it is a factory set mechanism. If you wish to set the load at a lower loads for the safety purpose, that can be done in the supervision of Hercules hoist technicians, and it is a one-time activity, but that has to be calibrated timely when you do your preventive maintenance activity. Then precision machine chain guide, chain stripper are the important part which guides the chain in the hoist. Surface hardened load chain in the load chain is another the hoist part which defines the your consumption pattern and costing. So in the considering these two parameters, we have two different load chains in our hoist. In HC chain, electric chain hoist, we have a surface hardened load chain which has a precisely butt welded load chain with a factor of safety, very high factor of safety and less wear and tear. And in the GC and UC hoist, series hoist, we have surface hardened galvanized load chain in these two hoist, where there are application in the dust application where they require the hoist, or the certain applications where only the load chain required with the coating, or which is near to the that particular operating area, which will affect the quality of the chain, or it will form the rust or any other damage to the chain. For that purpose, you can use this galvanized chain in that application, and that is available in the two of our series. Again, the hoist are, as you know, the hoist, electric chain hoist are chain is directly mounted on the load chain wheel, and it is directly coupled to the gearbox and the motor. So the chain and the considering its compact design, the chain load chain wheel pitch circle diameter where the chain is being fitted, that is has a very less diameters, and that is directly in contact with the chain and lifting of the load. Chain is directly connected to the load. So if you select the high lift of the hoist, the excess chain is hanging in the air, that may obstruct and it may damage to the hoist. So for that, chain collectors also are there, and as a standard supply in the HC, GC, there is a lift constraint, but for the higher lift as well, we can consider the chain collector and we can provide. So in the rest of the three, as a, it is on the demand, we supply the chain collector. Chain collectors are being used to collect the chain, and you can put some lubricant inside that, so which will automatically lubricate the chain, which will not attract the dust and which will not damage the load chain wheel as well as the chain. Then high quality grease lubricant is being used in the SC plus and EH2, that is a Kuberplex, a reduced maintenance, reduced maintenance needs, less wear and corrosion protection. These lubricants, grease have a very good adhesion, low lubricant consumption, which is a longer life, and in some cases, in some hoist, we have a oil lubrication as well. So there are advantages and disadvantages of both the lubrication, but in the certain applications, you need to select the right hoist. This lubrication is also an important factor where the heat is dissipated and hoist gearbox will not have a temperature rise, or it will not transfer to the motor as well. So wherever there are more number of operations, more number of start stop, the heat generated in each and every application is very high. So it depending on your application, and this oil lubricated or grease lubricated hoist to be selected. In addition to this, we have three different accessories which we introduce in our electric chain hoist as a industry 4.0 readiness. In this 4.0, we talk about the hoist life and the feedback system and the alarming system to the operator, to the maintenance people, and whoever handling that particular operations. The hoist with HID technology, hoist with the load limiter. Load limiter means when there is a slipping clutch mechanism is also there here, and is another one is the spring load limiter with a strain gauge type of thing, which will give you the hoist operation cutoff and the display as well about the load lifted at that particular point of time. Again, the hoist with the IQ feature enabled. IQ feature enabled is the accessories what we supply with the hoist. We trial tested at our factory, and which is a combination of about two load limiter and as well as HID technology will be used in this one to monitor the hoisting operations. The electric chain hoist. Electric chain hoist. This is the comparison for our product on our platter. First is the hoist model. ES2, the motor CDF is the 30%. Design duty class 1 AM. Mechanical brake, which is inbuilt in the conical rotor motor, and what the noise level is of 80 dB. The number of start stop 180. Brake torque is of 150% of motor starting torque, and this hoist is suitable for minimum 7 meter of lift at a stretch and maximum is a 15 meter at a stretch. So this vertical travel lift at single stretch is defined by the motor cyclic duration factor. So motor cyclic duration factor 30% mean it is the hoist is of 30%, that 3 minutes of operation and 7 minutes of rest in the 10 minute of 10-minute of operation. So it depending on, if we suppose hoist can be used for the 3 minutes, so the depending on the speed, depending on the speed, we can decide the single operation lift of the hoist. That means hoist is of a 4.8 4 mpm and hoist can be run 3 minutes continuously. That means in the 3 into 4 means 12 meter at a stretch you can run the hoist. You have to, then after that you have to halt the hoist for the particular application. This will have a positive impact on the motor windings, brake disc, brake coil, and the load chain as well. So when we say this, the motor cyclic duration factor, then it is also giving an indication the hoist usage pattern and how hoist can be used for the what type of lift at maximum time. If there are certain things which you cannot control, but you can do the operation with the halt of 2 minutes, and again you can start your hoist. So again, where vertical lift is the single stage is the point, then headroom, that is the dimension of hook to hook, and the load chain and the factor of safety of the load chain. Here in the ES2, we offer the factor of safety as a 5, and this hoist is suitable for automotive, logistic, machining shop, hazardous area application, etc. The constraint of the hoist, this hoist is double core and four pole hoist. So in the fall, when we say the lower hook block is a little bit bulky and operator cannot handle that particular lower hook block, he cannot hold that load near that particular hook. So that is also a selection criteria. What type of operation it is, what type of lower hook block is required, and in that lower hook block, is there any thrust is there, then you have to get the uh, lower hook block with the thrust bearing as well. We have both type of lower hook blocks available. So in this case, if you require, depending on the application, that has to be mentioned and selected, which will have a greater impact on hoist life. If you select the hoist which has an impact every time and which will give the unnecessarily unwanted excessive load on the hoist load chain, bearings, gearbox, hoist and hoist suspension as well. So the vibrations will increase and those vibrations will lead to the damage of the components in the hoist, which will, after the usage, the fatigue, the failure can occur and the failure will lead to the downtime and it will have again replacement within the warranty or outside the warranty. So we have to take care while we do this type of selection, but to understand it, what are the constraints, what is the mentioned in the product brochure, what is the important thing for us, what are the exact requirements of the site, what are the customer requirements. So all will lead to the right selection, a budgeted offer we can prepare, we can submit depending on the particular application. So for the different industries, there are different requirements. Automotive industry, they require a hoist with a more safety, more safe factor of safety, more safeguard in the hoist of the failure of the chain, indication, load limitation, load indication, limit switches, cross travel, long travel limit switches, pendant, emergencies, load limiting device has to be function at a certain intervals. So those are the requirements of the automotive industry, where you are handling the costly item which has to be taken care of because of hoist malfunctioning. It should not get damaged. In the logistic, if you see, the operations are very much uncontrolled, because logistic is the area where the untrained labor or any other laborers who are being recruited and asked to do this logistic application. In the logistic application, they will not understand the overload limit. They will not understand the number of start-stop constraint. They will not understand the lift constraint. They will not understand what are the emergencies. So to understanding of the particular thing, and then that has to be applied in that particular hoist. If not, then we have to get it from the original equipment manufacturer. So there are number of accessories are given in our price list as well. So price list is comprising of a product and the accessories which are at extra cost we can borrow depending on the application requirements. In the machining shop, if you see the machining shop, there are two constraints. Machining shops are mostly are with the jig fixtures and the automation one and the environment, either it is a dusty or a um, humid environment. So basically when we select the hoist in the particular area, what we have to take, what is the protection class of the motor, what type of painting is there, what type of number of operations are there, what type of brake is required in that particular application, and what type of controls are required. So for this, suppose machining shop is there, automation line is there, where alignment is important, then control on the hoisting speed is important factor. How to control the speed of the hoist? There are two different ways to control it. One is through the pendant and with the pole changing motor. Another is through the variable frequency drive, where you can get the slow speed and fast speed in the same button, same pendant button. So depending on the application for this one, this will give you added advantage selecting the hoist for the right application. In the machining shops, many times alignment is important, and then they require a very soft start. So when the soft start is there, there is a HID technology hoist are there, where we provide a soft start, where we provide the speed control, where we provide the alarm, where we provide the interconnection to the system, and it will have a halt operation in the emergencies. So depending on the particular requirements, we can give you these features in our hoist. So next category of hoist is UC plus. It is also a small capacity hoist, 250 kg and 450 500 kg hoist, which has a 30% CDF. But this is a pole changing motor hoist, which has a two speed. One is slow speed, one is high speed. And again, here the brake is DC, so there is a some soft start is there, so which will have a less sway and which will have less impact on the hoist. Hoist is off with a chain collector. Hoist can be supplied for the 24 meters of the height at a stretch. You can operate it. The chain is galvanized one. Factor of safety is 5, although the standard is talking about the factor of safety 4. Again, this hoist is suitable for the automotive industry, logistic, machining shops, foundry, dust area, assembly shop, repair shop, and pharma industry. Why? This, if you see the headroom dimension, those are of very less. 400 is minimum and 490 is the maximum. So that is the dead dimension in the your total operating area, total lift of the hoist. So this will give you added advantage. The lift, you can lift the load to the maximum extent. Here this hoist is suitable for, we are seeing is for the foundry and dust area. The protection class, whatever the enclosures what we have provided, those are of a high degree of protection and which will comply this type of application in this area as well at no cost. In the pharma industry also, this hoist can be used, where there they require operations without lubricants or operation with the food grade or pharmaceutical grade lubricants in this one. So this hoist is a lubricant is replaceable with these type of requirements as well, and these hoisting solutions can be offered for this industry as well. Again is the HC plus hoist, which is an indigenously designed hoist, which is upgraded from the SC to the SC plus. What is in the SC plus is the motor CDF, the design duty class, and beauty of this hoist is this hoist in all ranges up to the 5 ton is with the AC brake, which doesn't require any air gap setting, anything in the hoist, and which will has a very low amperage and very low noise. Again, this brakes of a 200% of the motor starting torque. Normally standard is talking about 150%, but here these brakes are of a 200%. So which is have a high starting torque. So this will have a long life, and the hoist is suitable for number of other applications as well. So again, here this hoist is can be lifted for the minimum of 16 meters and maximum of the 32 meter at one stretch. One stretch means without halting. After that, you have to halt the hoist. Again, the same philosophy which is explained in the above. Again, you have to restart your operation. Here also, the headroom is a minimum is the 550, maximum is the 1100 millimeter, depending on the hoist geometry. That means the capacity. Low capacity, 1 ton, 2 ton is 550, and 3 ton onwards, it is 1100. In this few hoist, the chain is also galvanized chain is used, and the rest is the surface hardened chain is used. Here, another thing is the factor of safety is 6. So this hoist has a longer life, and this hoist can be used for the with different application in the different industries. Again, the machining shop is there, foundry is there, pharma industry is there, assembly shop is there. Pharma industry also, for this we can supply the chain hoist with the SS chain and the pharma food grade lubricant in this particular hoist. We have also received something on the UC as well as in the GC. So the different hoists are designed and different capacities are there, but each and every hoist has a speciality of a speed, capacity, and their overall dimensions. Again, the construction of the hoist. So construction is of the hoist is uh, few hoists are of indigenously in-depth motors, and few are which are the motors which has our technical partner from Italy, which was supplying us motor specifically for this hoist. So these two types of hoist are there where we have a support from our Italian technical partner. Another hoist is GC hoist. GC hoist is also a electric chain hoist, which is a upgraded category of the FEM 2M. What we call is a 2M plus. Why the 2M plus? Here the motor CDF is of a 60%. Motor CDF is of a 60%. And the start stop are 240. The braking torque is of 200% of the motor starting torque. And here this hoist can be used for the 16 meter to 64-meter height of lift on the different capacities, because we have a hoist from the 4 meter per minute speed to 16 meter minutes per speed. So depending on those speed, the lift can be decided to travel at a one stretch. Again, if you compare that hoist, the headroom are very less than our rest of the hoist, where the space constraints are there, where the hoist are being replaced with some of our competitors. Then these hoists can be easily fitted in that particular application. These hoists are suitable for the light rail profile cranes, monorail trolleys, single girder trolley, girder crane, and this can be mounted on with the hook in some categories as well. Again, in the GC hoist, the galvanized chain is used. Again, the galvanized chain has an added advantage of a longer life, and the galvanized chain is of a German make Rude, which is a pioneer company in the making of the chains. Again, this hoist is suitable for all those above mentioned above: automotive, logistic, machining shop, foundry, dust area, assembly shops, repair shop, and pharma industry as well. In the pharma and food industry, where we can apply the pharma food grade in lubricant, and we can easily switch over to this one. GC hoist is a of a two-speed hoist. Two-speed hoist, it is a pole changing motor. Pole changing motor which has a two different speeds in the ratio of 1:4. So that can be used for the slow operation as well as the faster operation as and when required by the operator. So when we say the number of start stop are high, braking motor starting torque is high, then DC brakes with the low amperage, that all lead to the hoist life, which if you operate those hoist in that within the parameters described in the design duty class, that is the usage per hour per day, then this will have a longer life, and there will not be have any spare parts maintenance activity required frequently on this one. But in addition to that, there are safety measures also has to be taken care of. What are the safety measures? Although the hoist is designed for the factor of safety of 4 or 5, and tested for the 125% of the safe working load limit, it should not be used for that load limit. For it, we have to avoid that, and we have to see it can be restricted to the safe working load limit or working load limit of the hoist. For that HID technology or IQ feature will or load limiter feature will help you to give the alarms and display if those are exceeded or overloaded. This will also give added advantage to give the maintenance people about the operational things happening at the different stages. So which will give the control on the spare part management, usage, training of the operators, and it will enhance the life of the hoist. In higher capacities and in the robust design, we have a CH3, CH4 hoist. CH3, CH4 we have renamed as proton and neutron. These are the hoist with the AC and DC brake with low amperage, 80 dB as a noise level, 40% CDF of the motor, and as per Indian standard, the design duty class are 2. Number of start-stop for this one are restricted to 150, and the braking torque is of 150% of the starting torque of the motor. These hoists also have a vertical travel lift limitations, and that is related to the CDF factor of the motor and the speed of the hoist. So if you see in the different capacities, we have a 2.5 ton to up to 10 ton in the CH3 and 5 ton up to 20 ton in the CH4. Depending on the capacity and the speed of the hoist, it can be lifted 20 meters at a stretch and CH4 at a 32 meter at a stretch in the particular capacity. Depending on this, you can select your hoist, but this will have a little bit heavier hoist, uh, compensated on the headroom as well. Because if you see the headroom, which is the minimum 1000 mm and 1500 mm, which is because of the hoist geometry, the motor construction, gearbox construction, and the load chain what we are using of a higher grade and higher factor of safety. Because of that, in the same hoist, we can give the different variants by changing the reeving of the hoist. So single fall, double fall, or four fall, three fall, and four fall hoist are available. So when we say the lift is the constraint, you have to understand lift is a major factor where you can decide the hoist, and the chain is another costlier factor where you can save your money and you can utilize whatever the chain is, optimum chain length is required for the particular application. These hoists are being used for so many years in the steel plants, foundries, logistic, maintenance crane shops, and now we have introduced in some few of the hazardous area application. In the hazardous area application, these are the different gas group defined by the standard, and basically when we say the hoist is suitable for the hazardous area application, then that means it is basically a 2A 2B gas group where the temperature scale is of 200 degrees centigrade. Again, there are motor protection class. Motor protection class are standardized, and if there is a application requirement, we can give you the motor protection class higher the 65 IP65 as well as and panel and pendant to the IP65 class of protection. So what is the specialty? What is the specialty? What are the different accessories we are using in our hoist? Those are the IE motors. IE motors are the energy efficient motors we are using in our hoist, and which will have a added advantage, which will have improved efficiency, can save 7% of the total worldwide electrical energy. So these are the green environment requirements as of today, and we are insisting or to our customers also, and customers also have a requirement for the energy efficient motor in our hoist. So when we say energy efficient hoist, those are the four different class: IE1, 2, 3, 4. Hercules hoist standard supply is with the IE2, and if on the demand we can supply with the IE3 motor as well. What is the advantage of the IE motors? Advantage is these motors will have a less full load rated current. They will draw less current. The full load efficiency will be enhanced. The rated torque in the of the motors is reduced, and there is a consistency in the rated RPM. So, and these motors are suitable for the ambient temperature of up to 50 degree as a standard. So, IE motors are VFD compatible motors by default, and this will have a saving kilowatt hour per year at the 800 hours of the running is of 1084. In the, if you say the motor kilowatt is 1.5 kilowatt and motor kilowatt is 3.7 kilowatt. So when you are when we are saying that the return of investment, these are the factor where you can contribute through your operations and selecting the right equipment. Why these electric chain hoist, and what are the crane duty motors in the hoist? There are 7 parameters where we can compare that, and in the IE motors, all parameters are mentioned in the standard, are complying with that, and that are giving us the benefits in the saving of your uh, power saving and indirect saving of your hoist. If you see at this chart, see this chart, see this chart. This one is a just comparison of 2 of kilowatts of the motors, and where you can say it is compared to the standard and IE2 motors. When we see IE2 motors, then the parameters what you considered is purchase cost, efficiency, input power per hour kilowatt consumption, annual runnings, 333 days, and we are considering, then power consumption per annum, average energy cost per annum saving, annual savings, and payback period for added cost of the motor, total savings over the motor for the 10-year of life, and hoist model. If it is costing you 1,80,000 rupees, in the 10 years you will recover by using the IE motors 1,30,000 of rupees by utilizing the energy efficient motor in your hoist. So that is what we say, and this is also leading to the increase life of your hoist. There is a less wear and tear of the brake components. There is a less replacement of the brake components and brake coils and brake disc, as well as motor winding as well. So this is the thing where we can save your money and indirect cost saving as well. So advantages, those are high efficiency, inverter grade winding, reduce noise, optimum ventilation system for cooler operation, reduced vibration levels. This is the one more feature which is we ignore. We do not have much knowledge on the vibrations, but these motors generate the reduced vibration levels. Highly reliable, most demanding conditions, reduced life cycle cost motor with the S1 duty. If you say in the crane, there are duty class of the motors. And normally everyone is talking about those motors are crane duty, intermediate type of duty of motors. And those are S4 duty. Where when we say when S4 duty, there are number of start stop are inevitable, and motors are designed for that particular duty class. When we say IE motor, those are designed for the S1 duty class as well. So which we can use for the motor for the high lift application as well, because somewhere or other there are constraints of the design as well. So you can use these motor for these type of applications as well. So another Important factors in the hoist are the performance of the gearbox. These gearbox are the specially designed, specially bearings, URB or tank bearing, equivalent bearing. Benefits are there: long asset life, better return of investment. Better return of investment in terms of the less maintenance cost of the replacement of the bearing or replacement of the gears in this one. The gears are precisely designed, machined, and studied for the load bearing pattern as well on the teeth. So the gear wear and tear is also under control in this particular gearboxes of our hoist. So there is higher reliability, safety, and productivity. We talked about the gearbox, and there is a lower operation cost as well because of the gearbox construction. Few gearboxes are of a die-cast aluminum alloy body. So this will have a less lower deadweight in the hoist, which will give the benefit in the cross travel movement of your hoist. So overall deadweight is there less, then you can select the lesser kilowatt motors for this particular one. And if you are using the hoist for the with the manual operation in the push pull or gear trolley, there will be a less effort required. We talked about the efficient motor, number of start stop definition, and the protection clause, as well as the cyclic duration factor of the motor as well, which is defined in each and every motor nameplate. So flexible designs, so we can offer the various type of applications. Again, the VFD feature is also there. We can provide the with the variable frequency drives, which has a minimum rotor losses, higher efficiency, and the saving. So what is the HID controller, which will have advanced operational safety, operational friendly with the dual speed 1:6 ratio, control of load sway through the acceleration and deceleration method. This is also important feature of the hoist, where you can control the sway and you can control the hoist vibrations and related to the fatigue and failure of the components. Increases motor and brake life, reduces power consumption in peak load condition. Controls the protects motor from the overload and give alarm in the indication. There are indications also where the overcurrent is there, or motor temperatures are increasing, or overload is there, or voltage fluctuation there. Then it will give alarm and it will halt the hoisting operation. Protects motor from the overheating, overcurrent, short circuit between motor phases, single phasing of the supply voltage as well. Reduces the fatigue on the mechanical component because of the soft start and the control of the load sway, which will enhance the mechanical component life as well. Ensures the lightweight hoist on the same output and can be connected to the centralized operation monitoring system through Modbus serial or can open or remote communication and control, where you need to control those operations, you need to monitor those operations for your maintenance operation purpose, and which will also give you indication of the usage as well as the spare part management of your hoist. So whenever there is a brake life wear and tear, motor indication, brake slippage, noise level increase, then it will give indication something is going wrong in the hoist, and which will requires immediate attention. So your preventive maintenance activity can be planned, and there will not be a breakdown maintenance for this hoist. Or if there is a breakdown, then you will have a spare part readily available because you got the intimation in advance. So typical this is the cross section of our hoist, how it look like, basically for the three-stage gearboxes. If you see this is the typical cross section of our HC hoist, and this uh, how the gear rotary limit switch is connected to the load chain wheel of the hoist. This is the slipping catch mechanism. We talk about the safety of our hoist. This is a mechanical device which will control the overload of the overloading of the hoist, and which will disengage the motor from the gearbox. So this is the cross section of particular hoist where uh, so where you can adjust the torque of this particular bolt, and you can tighten the mechanism, or you can loosen the mechanism. The different hoist has a different torque settings for this particular load and overload. This can be used as a safety purpose and to monitor the pattern of the hoist, which will enhance the um, gearbox life as well as hoist motor life. In this case, there are three hoists where this mechanism is available in the SC, GC, and UC. These are the typical photographs of our hoist on the brochure. You know about this one, SC plus. Then this black one is of baby CH3, CH4, then GC hoist and SC plus hoist. This is a typical brochure dimensions are given for understanding the side clearances, headroom, hook dimensions, etc. These are given for the each and every hoist on their particular brochure. When we're talking about the customized solution of the hoist, these are the two different hoists where we can give you the short headroom hoist, we offer 200 millimeter of headroom. So these are the specialized customized solution available in the HC series hoist as well. These are being used in the automotive industry where they have a load has to be taken the maximum position, and there is a constraint of the monorail or crane or their any other mounting arrangement in the factory. These are the typical cross sections where we can see the how the motor is coupled to the gearbox of the hoist, what type of brake it is, how it is brake is inside the motor cover is mounted, and it has a lever as well. Suppose somebody requires the manual release as well, so that is also possible whenever there is a some activity where the hoist is damaged or halting operation is at halt. That time we can release the hoist manually as well. The brake release is possible. You have to remove the cover. This is you have to loosen the bolts and release the load slowly, which will come down to the your uh, position. So why the customer is choosing us? We have an experience of 58 years of experience, a market leader in the hoisting solutions, huge product portfolio and customized solution. We have a product quality and customer service, large distribution network, most trusted brand called as India. These are the typical applications where the electric chain hoist can be used on the jeep cranes or articulated jeep cranes. These are some installations what we are developing in our factory in the 3D modeling software, and this is the same replica of the jeep cranes available at the site as well. These are another installations where our hoist can be used in the light rail profile cranes in the conjunction with the different hoist. Again, this will have added advantage because the headroom, because of the lightweight, because of the multiple speed availability, because of the less noise. So these can be used in the various type of application where these are the constraint. There are the hoists are being used in the conjunction with the floor of stacker as well. This is also a equipment where we use our electric chain hoist and the hoist for the crane and hoist application, which has a 360 degree or 270 degree rotation for the using the fork as well. These are the typical ready installation what we supplied to the different customers. One is this one is the with the floor operated stacker. Another is the portable gantry crane. Another is the jeep crane, where the hoists are mounted on the trolley and this fixed suspension as well. These are the typical applications when we are see the monorail paths are there. There also our hoists are being installed and those are negotiating on these different curvature path as well. When there are certain requirements, then there is a design requirement to understand the beam sketch. The beam sketch to understand the radius of curvature, and then we will have to verify our trolley design will negotiate on this particular radius of curvature. So these complicated radius of curvature also the possible with our hoist as well. We have a domestic customers as well as the international customers as well. Where we export our hoist to these plants in Malaysia, Indonesia, Italy, UK, Kuwait, Oman, Sri Lanka, African countries, etc. So for the safety of the hoist is the prime importance. Hoist and cranes are over traveling equipment, so safety is prime importance. Poor maintenance, mishandling, overloading may lead to fatal accidents. Hence, this makes even more important to select the right hoist with the right features based on the application. So when you say the application, for that we have discuss about the analytical method, application, requirements, constraint, etc. And for this, when we select the hoist, it will have those features inbuilt, and those features are listed in the operating maintenance manual as well. Operating maintenance manual will describe you about the installation procedure, commissioning procedure, then what are the do's and don'ts required, what are the pre-installation inspections, what are the after installation and preventive maintenance inspections of the hoist, then faults list will be there, then what are the spare part and sub assemblies are there, those are identified with the components and parts, and basically those are given in the operating and maintenance manual as well. Hoist safety emergency, what are the requirements? Hoist safe working load should be prominently visible. That has to be monitored, and if they are there, it is clearly indicative to the with the help of the nameplate on the low hook block and as well as hoist as well. End user responsible for its safe operation. So instructions given in the operating and maintenance manual has to be followed. Hoists are designed for ease of erection. So our hoists are plug and play type. So whenever you do this activity, you have to check the electrical safety, phase connections, etc., and then erect the hoist. Before erection, the hoist inspect visually for the damage, loose connection, bolting removed from the packing pallet. Then remove the wooden bottom frame, backing girder, etc., and adjust the hoist and mount on the monorail or whatever is the suspension at the side. Before erection process start, adjust the flange width of the trolley to suit the beam size. This is the most important thing. There are certain tips that are given in the manual as well. So those tips has to be followed and verified, ensured to mount the hoist at the right place. Check the distance between the wheel flanges as well. Lubrication is important, and to check the before installation. Grease the trolley gears, pinion lubricate, load chain, lubricate the load chain, verify the lower hook block movement, hook safety latch is working or not, lubricant is leaking or refill is required, electrical connections are not loose enough, and whatever the safety features are given, those are intact. Inspect the control panel cabling, pendant connection, supply connection, limit switch operation, no load in the no load condition. Periodic calibration of the chain is the important thing, where refer the operating manual given for the particular product. So chain calibration is a, a thing which needs to be attended on the periodic basis, because once the chain is passing through the load chain wheel, and load chain wheel is rubbing driving the lifting the load with the force, so there is a heat generation and there is an impact of that particular temperature on the chain, as well as and usage of the hoist, because every time the chain is being directly connected to the load chain wheel and to the lower hook block as well. So it will have always in a loaded condition. So it chain is a steel part, a butt welded part. So it will have a tendency to elongate in the particular condition. So when we say chain is elongated, that means it will not match the pocketed load chain wheel, and it will try to override the uh, load chain wheel. And if we try to override the load chain wheel, it will have impact on the gearbox body, because it will be accumulated in the free space available in the load chain wheel, chain guide, and the gearbox body. If it is not being cleared out soon, then because of the power driven electrical powerful motor, it will try to pull the load, and the chain will not come out to the pocket, and it will damage the gearbox body. So, so calibration of the chain is important, and it has to be done meticulously with the fixtures available or with the gauge for that particular thing. The detailed instructions are given in the operating manual of each and every hoist. Periodic checks of important chain size, pitch length, part changing frequency, recommended par speed to be kept in the stock. There is a part changing frequency as well. You have to inspect visually the chain guide. You have to inspect visually the chain stripper. You have to inspect the lower hook openings. You have to inspect the latch operation. So those are the parts where you can, if you found any deformation, then you have to replace it. And it has to be frequently checked 2-3 months in your operating period, or when the hoist is being used after the long rest. Then recommended spare part to be kept in the stock. What are the recommended spare part? The recommended spare parts are the hook latch, then some contactors in the control panel, and uh, the brake coil and brake disc as well. These are the spare part which required for the breakdown maintenance, and it may have a operational impact, and it will increase the downtime as well. So we recommend these spare parts should be kept in the stock. Replace the parts as per maintenance schedule after the estimated usage. Estimated usage is a point where that HID controller or IQ enabled hoist will give you the brake liner wear indications, and that can be maintained, and that indication can be used for the spare part management. Recommended spare part must be in the stock, shelf life to be maintained. There are certain parts which has a shelf life. For example, oil seals, brake liners, because these will have a impact of a environment where you store, how you store in your stores. So shelf life has to be maintained, and it has been mentioned in the operating manual as well as, and it will be mentioned on that particular part packagings. Important is use genuine spare parts, the spare parts given supplied by the original equipment manufacturer. Precautions in the material handling. Do not use a hoist for the equipment lifting the people. Do not pass load over the workers. Do not tip a load. Load is unstable and harms the hook and the hoist. These are the guidelines given in our operating maintenance manual. So do not insert point hook, link chain. Do not hammer a sling into the place. Do not leave sling dangling in the load hook. Do not raise load higher than necessary to clear objects. Do not exceed hoist load limit. Do not leave suspended load unattended. What should we avoid when using the electric chain hoist? We should avoid the cross pulling to be avoided. Tandem operation of the two or more hoists to be carried out with feedback mechanism with HID controller. Hoist operation should be put in the halt if noise level of the gearbox, motor brake operation exceeds 85 dB. Hoist with the swelling hook suspension should not be used in combination with the trolley or the cross travel movement because swelling hook suspension have a tendency to wear it out fast and it will have a casting parts and those will wear out fast and it will have a fatigue and fatigue will lead to the damage will lead to the failure of that particular component. So when a cross travel movement is there, there should not be a swelling movement of the hoist. Hoist in machining centers where load is part mounted on the fixture, then hoist without interlock for overload protection should not be used. Means there are some fixtures are there and you are using that hoist with the conjunction to mount the part on that fixture. So you have to insist that there should be of some interlocks which will safeguard the hoist as well, which will not overload the hoist when fixture is not disengage from that component or the work table of the machine. Hoist lift to be selected as per the CDF motor. So as I explained you, the CDF is mentioned on the motor and as a technical specification as well. And based on that, the speed has to be attained. These are the bad examples, what we do in the cross travel and how these are affect the hoist geometry as well as the components of the hoist. So cross pulling has to be avoided. The theta is shown when it is increases, this will give you the impact on the wear and tear of the chain. If you see this cross section, when you cross pull this one, if chain is passed through the chain guide and the chain stripper, then it will damage both the parts and it will in turn it will damage the hoist gearbox body as well. So we have to avoid those mishandling of the hoist and for operator training is also given for this type of application. To avoid this one, the space utilization of the hoist and the end clearances are to be studied, and as per that, the extension on the girders, light rail profile, monorail has to be given. So this is a typical cross section of the GC series hoist, what we have. So if you see, it is a compact one, DC brake, gear limit switch is an option for this one, and the hoist of a similar geometry, balanced geometry. These are the typical comparison of our hoist. When we see GC is hoist in competition with our competitors. So the features what we mentioned, the geometry, the operation, everything can be compared to these international or competitors. So this is the in-depth intelligent usage tracker. We're talking about the IQ feature of the hoist, and in the IQ feature, these are the industries revolution. First industry revolution, second, third, and fourth one. So fourth one is commonly referred to as the fourth. So IQ is a HHL IoT industry relevant platform. Design, monitor critical areas of the hoist operation and update customer. IQ will feature IAS level data, encryption and real-time cloud connectivity. This is the typical layout of our wire rope hoist where we trial tested this one. This IQ enabled enability is for the accessories available for the electric chain hoist as well. This is how it will work. It will collect the data from the hoist, then it will send to the IoT platform. It will have a cloud server, and the data can be given is to your laptop tablet, mobile application as well. So web browser configuration as well available for this one. So reduce instruction set computing based processor. Connectivity will be real-time data streaming to secure cloud with Wi-Fi GPRS. This will give you the operation visualization of your hoist in your factory of various one. This one is enabled, is an embedded system which can be applied to number of hoists as well. So which will have a common data for your maintenance and operation heads to monitor this one. So how they will monitor? Single wheel monitoring is possible. Analysis of the reports is there. Then total number of start stop it will measure. Total working period of the hoist crane hoisting cycle it will measure. Current supply voltage, number of emergencies, maximum calculated duty cycle, total switch on time, maximum capacity utilization, load percentage, up down count, temperature, hoist motor, trolley motor, control cabinet, it will monitor and it will give you the reports in this format. So it will, these reports will be available on your desktop or your service personnel, this one. So IQ have two different variants where the number of features are there and those are listed here. This in the IQ and IQ plus, the important plus is that vibration monitoring and load monitoring will be there in the IQ plus, and the rest of the features, temperature, current, up down limit switch monitoring, motor CDF monitoring, brake monitoring, VFD monitoring, VLVS monitoring is available in the IQ as well. So these are the features which we give on our hoist. Those are the added advantages, added features, and a winning edge for the Hercules hoist. This ends our today's briefing on products of Hercules hoist. Uh, these are the hoists available on different variants. Brochures are giving the information about the capacities, speed, customization, and there is a standard price list available for the standard hoist and the accessories as well.
Thank you, Rahul sir, for the briefing. So it was really insightful. Participants, now whatever questions you have, you can put in your chat box, and Rahul sir and the other panelists can answer. At the same time, Rahul sir, there is a question about surface hardening of chain used in HC hoist.
Yeah.
Can you please explain that?
Surface hardened chains are the chains which have a hardness of on the surface of the chain, where those chains are will have a strength as well as the core hardness of particular is enhanced from that particular operation, because the chains are manufactured by the butt welding technology. So when we do the butt welding technology, there are the temperatures, and high temperatures will give the brittleness to the material properties, and which will have an adverse impact on the joints of the chain. So for the reduced one, this surface hardening treatment is given to the chain, and which will also is one sort of stress relieving, and which will enhance the properties of the skin of that particular load chain rod. Again, this will have impact on our load chain wheel as well. The load chain wheel is precisely machined, and their pockets are very compact and precisely machined with the high tolerance. So when we say the surface hardened chain, it will not change the shape of that particular link, and it will have a right fitment in that particular pocket. So when we say surface hardened, means it will have a less elongation property, and which will withstand the high temperature operation, continuous operation as well.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is one more question. What is the permissible cross pulling angle acceptable in the HC hoist?
It depends on the lift of the hoist, and permissible is not more than the 3 degrees. So for in the 3 meters. So basically, this is the fleet angle of the lower hook block, and the load chain wheel diameters. So these are the factors where we have to avoid, and basically the hoists are designed to lift the load free in the layer vertically. So these are not advisable to any conditions, and if there are certain conditions, it should not exceed more than 3 degrees.
Thank you. Any other questions, please put in your chat box. So there is one more question. Is HC plus hoist useful in dusty area?
Yes, with added features of the protection class and the lubricant. So that we can give, but in existing, suppose you buy this existing standard hoist, which will not suffice this application. But if there is application, then we will give this two features added in this one, and then we can supply the SC hoist in that dust area as well.
Manish, there was one question, sir. What should be the ideal speed of for a 1-ton chain hoist? I think it is 4 mpm and 8 mpm as a standard speed, but customized speeds are also possible, right?
Yes, we have 3 different hoists in the same category. So customized speed is also available, 12 mpm, 6 mpm as well.
Sir, there is a question on is HC plus short headroom available?
Yes, that I have shown you one 3D model or recent supply. So short headroom hoists also are available, but there is we need to have that shop layout, because that short headroom hoist has arm has a length, and it should not be there. Their shop working area will be we will have a compromise on that.
There's one question that any special hoist, if it is available for HCl acid plant, if any enclosure or something with enclosure, it can be supplied.
Acid plant.
HCl acid plant, yeah. That's right.
Okay. So it actually our hoist, we can supply those hazardous area application hoist in that area with the some other extra protection of the motor as well as of the hoist as well. But that has to be what is the lift they are proposing, because
yeah, that's what I've asked them to write to us separately on the application details, and we will be in a position to see. The thing is, we for such specific applications, we need to see study the application in detail. Because even if you say that it is a HCl acid plant, we do not know how much the hoist or any component of the hoist is going to be in contact with the acid fumes. So that's why the application has to be studied in detail in such requirements, and then we will be in a position to guide you. But definitely we have supplied such hoists for a lot of our customers in past, and we definitely have a solution for that.
Yeah.
Sir, there is one more question. Is there any model available which can be operated using remote control? Full operation?
Yes. Every electric chain hoist can be operated with the radio remote control. We can give radio remote control to every our hoist.
Okay, and then one more question. Can you get HC hoist price for FLP area with extra cost? Sir, for this, what you can do is like you can write to either mmd@indef.com, or else you can also write to enquire@indef.com. So you'll get.
I'll share the email IDs.
Sure.
Yeah. In the message itself.
Yeah. Then another question, please refer load chains of different size or grade. Please send list giving details about permissible elongation. So sir, you'll get the details on your mail ID, either from Mr. Manish or team. You'll get that.
Yeah, please write to me. I've just shared my email ID to you, sir, and you'll definitely hear from us very soon. There is a question: can we get HC hoist with SS load chain and SS hook for food and pharma industry?
Manish, yes, recently we have developed that also, and we have a few inquiries pipeline in the pipeline as well, and we have given similar hoist category as well. So we can definitely give you this hoist in this one. Only the constraint is the we need to have that detailed working environment, usage, and capacities. Means load pattern.
Okay, so that's absolutely right. Uh, then there is a question if a short headroom is available. We have already answered that. Then
There is one more question: which could be the better option for HC, with VFD or dual speed?
for that, actually, Swaraj, see, the thing is with VFD or with our HID technology, it is always a better solution for the customer, because apart from getting the slow speeds that customer is looking there are many other features also. For example, there's an inbuilt brake logic, or there's a, the starting current is very low in that. So there are many other features also you get. So definitely with HID is a better option. But if some applications are demanding the pole changing motors, then we have options for those as well.
Thank you.
There's a question: is hoist flame proof, sir? So yeah, yes, definitely. We will have a. I mean, we definitely have a flame proof option, a flame proof hoist option in our standard category as well. And we have supplied a lot of such hoists in the industry, and we can definitely supply in the future as well. So yeah, definitely it is that. There's a question if GC hoist is available with the ET. Definitely with electric trolley it is available, because most of the applications with the electric trolley only the customers might need. So it is definitely applicable. So, one more question: which series is the old hoist spares are not available, and those are absolute? Sir, all the hoists that Mr. Rahul Mahajan has just showed you, all these hoists are active hoists, and all the spares are available with us, as well as all our channel partners throughout the country. So and in fact, if there are some hoists which are old hoists also, and you still are looking for those spares, you can write to us and we will help you in that as well. One question: suppose my electric hoist is 2-ton capacity, then what is the capacity of trolley for shifting from one place to another horizontally? See, if the hoist you are using, in the hoist that you're using is 2-ton capacity, then the trolley also should be 2-ton capacity itself. There's one question: control panel unit is possible separate from hoist unit. Each component like contractor can be located. Sir, definitely this is possible, and we understand that there are requirements where control panels have to be positioned separately than the hoist, and we have done such customizations for some of our customers, and it is quite possible. Only thing is we need to, because you need to, tell us in advance that you are looking for, separating panel and the hoist, so that the balancing of hoist can be taken care in the factory itself during production. So definitely it is possible. Right, Rahul sir? They are asking for
Yes.
separate control panel. Yeah.
Rahul, so there is one more question. Can chain hoist be used for cage lift?
This is another area which we need to think. Ideally, chain hoist cannot be used for this cage lift application, but in some cases, with the customization and these controls as HID controller or load limiter controller or IQ enabled feature, we can use those hoist in the cage lift application as well. So basically, when we say the cage leap application, there are the loads which we are unforeseen, and the guided mechanism will have more wear and tear and more frictional forces in the core, in the existence. So that affects the hoist, and hoist chain is always in the loaded condition. If you see the hoist technology, hoist engineering, load should not be hanged continuously on any of the connecting mechanism of a hoist mains gearbox to the lower hook block or load connecting tackles. So that is mostly avoidable, and for that purpose, the design standards are different for the hoist as well as the lift type of applications. Although the hoist is a economical solution in the cage lift application, but added safety we can give this hoist to such type of application after assessing their work area, usage, and additional safety features of the hoist as well. But as a hoist manufacturer, we do not recommend to use hoist in the cage lift application. But if customer is demand, and then with added these features, we will definitely look into it and will give you the right solution. But thing is, that has to be consulted to the original equipment manufacturer, the hoist manufacturer, and they will give you the right solution. It cannot be the case the hoist in the stock can be used for the cage lift type of application by their own local engineering knowledge. We do not recommend that, because their structural study of that construction is also important, and we need to understand what type of construction structure is available at the site.
Yeah. There's one question. Is there any difference in lifting of HC plus hoist of 2-ton capacity in 6-meter range rather than a 25-meter range height? Sir, the thing is, the HC plus hoist can definitely be used for higher height of lift applications up to some limit, definitely. In this, important is your what speeds you're taking, and there is a standard motor CDF that comes with it. So definitely for high lifts it can be used, but to some limit. You please let us know your requirement. See, it also has to do with what kind of application it is. For example, there is a hoist which is hanging at 25-meter height, but it is lifting only 3 or 4 meters. So that's absolutely fine. But if it has to lift from bottom to the top, then it becomes a different application, and we need to design it differently. So that's why it is important to describe the applications at the start itself, so that proper solution can be provided. Also, if we do not recommend to change any hoist, any lift in any hoist, any standard hoist, because there are other considerations also in it. For example, setting of the limit switch or other control equipment that have to be set. So that's why whenever you want any change in the existing hoist, also you please let us know. We will be happy to help you in that regard. But please do any changes in only after consulting us. Yeah.
So participants, if you have any further questions, please
Yeah.
put in the chat box.
Yeah.
We have time.
we will also share all of you our contact details, and you can also write to us for any query regarding any of these voice or any other voice also that we have got. So that is also possible.
So please put your questions in the meantime. So you'll be, all of you, thanks for attending the webinar. You'll be receiving a follow-up mail with a quick survey. So kindly fill that. That will help us get an overall understanding of how your experience was, and also to arrange like similar kind of webinars for you, so that we can serve you better.
I think, Swaraj, there are no further questions, so I think we can wrap this up, and we need to share the contact details so that they can write to us also with their questions.
Sure, we'll share the contact details, and
Yes.
I would request everyone to check, visit our website as well. You will get further details for all products, and at the same time, you can visit our social media handles, where you'll get the regular updates on upcoming webinars and all. So thanks again, everyone, for joining, and we hope we answered all of your queries, and it was an insightful session for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please
Thank
don't
you.
forget
Thank you.
to fill the.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ragul, good presentation, Ragul. RCM.
Hello.
Yeah, Farhan is here.
How are you getting?
Acha, yeah, very good. Yes, yes, good presentation. Very long presentation without drinking water. Acha tha.
Thank you.
One customer मेरे को पूछा था whether it can be possible to give chain hoist in zone 22 application.
Yes, we can give. Only the constraint is that motor. Motor is the constraint, because motors in those this one are of a heavy construction. So hoist selection is difficult.
Oh, okay.
Which is the capacity? What is the capacity they are talking about?
5 ton.
5 tons. So CH3 or CH4 we can offer, because that motor itself has a heavy one, the brake and that enclosure for that zone 22.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care. Okay. Thank you very much. Very good. Very nice.